Hello, and welcome to a crossover scene from the Werewolf and Mage venues. Alicia is making her way back to the Verbena Chantry from Gramercy Park, and is mildly surprised to see a folding chair on the roof. But there's been weirder things going on around the Chantry, so she'll just pull up fairly ordinarily, get out of her truck, picking up a large box a largish but fairly flat box, which she'll tuck under her arm and start heading towards the door when she hears some barking.
When you make it about halfway between your truck into the front door, you hear lots and lots of little beeps and little laps and little barks, actually. And they seem to be coming from off one side of the barn house to the other. A whole, what you can only describe as a pack of mutts, all of different colors, all of different sizes. They seem to rush up towards you.
Alicia's going to look somewhat shocked, hold out her hand to be sniffed and see whether the dogs are friendly or not.
Oh, they do. They do. The dogs go ahead and sniff. Some of them butt their head against you, against your hand. And what you notice is that each and every one of these mutts, while they don't have an actual collar, while they aren't marked domestically, each one of them seems to have a wreath. A wreath of lilies and a wreath of small little red and pink and all different colors of Easter lilies, actually. I like that. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Wow, where did you guys come from? She's gonna head slightly back towards the truck just to shove the box back into the passenger seat and retrieve some of her dog treats, which she always has been carrying lately from the glove compartment, to start doling some out to these this random pack of dogs with flowers.
The mutts go ahead and start to devour the dog treats that you give them. And sort of in response to your question, they sort of bark and yip, and they sort of gesture in the best way that they can gesture, in the best way that a feral mind can gesture towards the back entrance of the chantry. The back entrance of the chantry happens to be just a simple porch that leads on into the actual kitchen, but on the window of this kitchen door, there is a note there that has been addressed to you, Alicia.
And as Alicia can speak Lupus, which admittedly is more complicated than dog, she will probably get the gist of what they're trying to tell her fairly easily, and will make her way round. And when she sees the note, she will open it, because that's generally what you do when you find notes addressed to yourself.
Do you read it?
Yep.
You go ahead and open the envelope, and the first thing that you notice more than anything, or maybe the second thing, maybe simultaneously, is this scent. This very, very soft fragrance. It's subtle. It's not overbearing. It's not overwhelming. It's just a very, very soft scent. It's pleasant. Pleasant enough. Not too distracting. It's just there. The note pretty much reads, Alicia, I have something to show you. If you could walk up towards the roof, I have a seat for you. Get ready for a show.
She's gonna frown slightly and then smile. And then she's going to look at the dogs and give them all a bit of a pet and be like, okay, you guys wait here because well you've got muddy paws and we need to figure out whether you're allowed in the chantry or not with everybody. But you stay here and she'll pet them all and then she'll kind of squeeze through the door, closing it behind her to keep them from following her inside.
You hear a few. You want to be let inside. They jump on the door. They jump on the door.
She'll feel kind of bad. And then she'll find some of the large kitchen bowls that she does the mixing in. And she'll put a bunch of water into them and some of the food that they keep for the wolf pups that are around. And she'll set this out on the floor. And then she'll let them into the kitchen, but she will fairly rapidly make her way out of the kitchen and close the door to keep them in the kitchen where the food and the water is and where the floor is tiled. And she'll make her way up towards the roof.
Make your way up towards the roof. You go up a few flights of stairs. You realize that you have to go through the attic, actually, to gain entrance. You go ahead and find the little pull cord on the second or third floor. Pull it down, extend the ladder. The attic, as you can imagine, especially within a mage's own sanctum, is filled with a lot of different knickknacks. Chests, portraits, draped portraits, furniture, lots of things here that seem eclectic, lots of things here that sort of give a hint to what this place actually is, but it's all musty, it's all stored. It's as if a great amount of potential is here. It just needs to be brought down and out and actually showed and displayed. But besides that, there is the obvious little hatchway that leads on to the rooftop proper.
Alicia has probably been up here before, but not very often, just enough to make sure that she's aware of access to the roof and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But she'll know the way, so she'll head that way and open it up to head up onto the roof.
On the roof, quite plainly there, is the folding chair. And underneath the folding chair happens to be a cassette player of sorts.
And she's going to bend down to look at the cassette player, which presumably will have a post-it note on it saying "Play me" or something similar.
Of course.
And she will set it going while looking around trying to figure out where Jericho is.
You do so. And remember that song you sent me earlier?
Yes.
Would it be too much to ask that it's actually playing that?
No, you can if you want to.
The weakness in me starts to play there, and it's as if on cue, as if trained to do so, as if this was the mark. You see a figure start to walk onto the field in front of the roof. You know the man. You can see him. He's smiling. He's waving up at you. And as soon as he starts to smile and wave up at you, you can hear this cacophony of sound coming from the kitchen, actually. And Jericho looks up to you, looks back to the back porch, goes ahead and puts up one finger, walks back over there. And when he returns, that little pack of stray dogs will be yipping and yapping at him as well. Part of the show. Sorry. They told me to do this. He's looking up. He's looking up at Alicia. They told me to do this, okay?
Okay.
From his little bag, you can see that there's a pouch there. And when he goes ahead and retrieves the bag, he pours a little bit of the contents inside his hand. It seems as if it's a lots of different small seeds from what you can tell, actually. The mutts themselves seems very, very interested in what he's got in his hands. He goes ahead and proceeds to walk, proceeds to trod different rows. And as he does so, he's simply throwing the seeds up in the air. The stray dogs and mutts go ahead and jump every time he throws something into the air and sort of walks around, rushes around in a frenzy around Jericho. He repeats the same process over and over and over again until he has pretty much the entire yard covered, actually. After he does so, he looks up to Alicia, and this is what he yells. I can't control everything. I can't. But I can control what's right in front of me. And you know what I want to do? I want to build a garden. The only thing I've ever really want to do, the only thing that brings me any sort of happiness, I want to build a garden for you. And as soon as those words, as soon as I want to build a garden for you is uttered, those stray dogs, those stray packs, they proceed to scamper around. They proceed to run one end from the yard to the other end of the yard. And as they start to rush away, as they start to rush behind, what they leave behind is dug up grass, dug up garden, drugged up soil and roots. But what they also leave behind is sproutlings, little tiny buds, little tiny sproutlings that start to grow at a rather rapid rate. You can imagine that you're looking at this entire field as it goes through a rapid time-lapse photo. But to your eyes, this is going on in real time. Each one of these little buds is starts small, grows into a stem, starts to blossom and flower as you would assume that spring would. It's as if spring has come to this specific yard, the specific day, the specific hour, the specific second. All that wonderful life potential is starting to spring up all around the stray dogs where they leave. And as they grow, as they blossom, the yard is colored in these reds, these whites, these yellows, these pinks, these blues, and starts to grow more and more and more, and you're starting to see it. There's a pattern growing there. There's a pattern growing within all of this randomness, within all of this chaos, within all of this just rather brutal, primal gathering. Behind all of these odds, behind all of this ravenous energy, there is a pattern that is growing there. There, that grows, seems to be a portrait. Seems to be a portrait. It's rather simple. It's actually a portrait that you would imagine a photograph being taken. Actually, you remember this photograph. Jericho showed you this. It was just after that little rowboat ride when when Jericho asked one of the tourists to go ahead and give you a picture. It's simply of you there, Alicia, holding a picnic basket. Jericho on the other side starting to row, and the water and the landscape behind it. You can imagine that this is a rather crude representation simply because of the medium that is being used, but it's striking. All this randomness just for this perfect little pattern. And Jericho is simply standing there with his arm extended, looking at you, looking up at you, simply say, "They told me to do this, and I was happy to do so."
Which kind of flowers did he choose?
Roses, lilies, dandelions, all sorts.
And Alicia is going to just kind of jump down off the roof because I'm thinking it's only like 3 or 4 stories.
Mhm.
It's probably not even that. It's probably like 3, yeah. So she can probably just jump down relatively easily. Maybe a bit of bruised knees, but nothing that won't heal on a werewolf in like 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And she's just going to walk straight over to Jericho and give him a great big hug. And then she's going to say, "Who told you?"
The spirits of this place. They told me to do this. And as you go ahead and you start to hug him, what Jericho's actually going to do is Jericho's going to actually twist and turn. He's going to actually proceed to sort of throw you in a little circle, lifting up your legs, leg inertia, take up most of the action for himself. And what he's going to try to do is he's going to try to intentionally lose balance so that he falls on his own back.
Presumably with Alicia on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst that is probably where they'd be likely to, kiss and stuff, the problem is dogs tend to like to join in these kind of celebrations. So it's more likely they'll end up with claws to the face.
There is a dog pile. All the stray dogs are like, yay, 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 yay. You get a nuzzle in your face. Jericho gets a nuzzle in his face. There are licks everywhere. I was like, okay, yeah. Good time, great time.
Kind of like it was a great plan until poor face. But there's laughing and wriggling and barking and craziness.
Jericho sort of stands up, sits up with this throng of canites around him, and he simply says, "Yeah, I don't know. It's just that all of these spirits around you, especially those related to the fauna and flora, told me to do this for you. They said that what you had been doing for them deserved some sort of reward, so I did it."
Thank you. It's really lovely. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to figure out where these guys are going to live.
These guys followed me all the way from town. Oh, God.
They must like you.
Yeah. And that's the thing around me. Sometimes things just work out just right. There's always a touch of chaos around me.
But there's a lot of luck as well.
Mm-hmm. I am lucky.
And she's going to hug him. And this time, seeing as they are standing up, the kissing will probably go significantly better. Let's just say that. There probably will be paws on like thighs and waist as various dogs kind of jump up and like Yay, dogs.
There is definitely an amount of warmth there that you haven't felt from Jericho in quite a long time.
Which she has definitely missed.
I'm very sorry that I ended on a sour note last time, but that was only because I couldn't see what you were trying to do. I wasn't listening to you. I was hearing the words, but I wasn't listening to you. You have a good spirit. You got very virtuous goals. And the, that greater spirit pretty much bound me to help you. So if you think that trying to gather people together to work together is an awesome idea, so be it. Sometimes people need a little bit of hope in the world.
It is the one thing that didn't get lost from Pandora's box.
A lot of chaos came from that box. I would know. And it
Of course
depends
it
on
did.
which version of the legend that you go with, whether hope was left in the box because it was too weak, or hope was given to the first man and woman because they needed it.
Who doesn't need it?
There are some people that need it more than others, and there are some people who need to be reminded that it's there. Hope has always been a very, very small spirit. Hope has always been something that's rare to find. It's like a unicorn.
Yep. But that doesn't mean there aren't any. She's going to say with a glance towards the other side of the lawn where the unicorn symbol is still clear on the grass.
Mm-hmm. It's a big, big, very big symbol. The last time I remember it.
Yep. Very big unicorn symbol.
Let's go inside. Let these doggies play.
Good plan.
Jericho's gonna go ahead and start to walk towards the back, and the stray dogs will, of course, follow. They're all happy. They're all very much excited. They have no idea what they did, but it was a good thing.
It was definitely a good thing. I mean, stuff's all over the place. It was like fireworks, but without the scary bangs. It was
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Totally awesome.
And they get to go inside with the treat persons.
Well, if Alicia allows them to, Jericho, for his part, is trying to squeeze in through the back entrance of the kitchen.
Alicia's going to worry a little bit about what everyone else will say if there's muddy paw prints all over the place. Then remember that the wolves kind of sometimes leave muddy paw prints, and it's been given to her now, so she can probably get away with it, and then just let the dogs run around.
Oh, please, you probably shouldn't let them go upstairs. You probably shouldn't let them go upstairs. That's where the other residents keep their bedrooms. Nope, nope, bad dog.
Though to be fair, after running all over the place, they'll probably just kind of climb onto the sofas in the living room area where Alicia and Jericho are presumably sitting, and then just lie all over these sofas.
Jericho's, for his part, is going to go ahead and scratch the ear of one of the closer mutts, and he simply says, uh, so I got a toaster from Bettina.
Okay.
I have no idea what to do with it.
Toast bread?
Sure, I was planning to give it over to Jade so that she can have it in her kitchen or have it in my Jantria's kitchen. I don't
Yeah,
know why she gave it to me.
I have a vague idea.
Yeah?
Well, not that it's exactly a wedding, but it is fairly close, and toasters are one of the many traditional gift things.
Oh. She- That's strange because I haven't set up a wedding registry or a bridal registry or nothing like that. How did you know? How did you know that that's what the thing that we need?
Like I said, it's kind of one of those things that people get when they don't know what you need. Um, I mean, I haven't really been to many weddings, but the one I did go to, they didn't do a gift registry thing, and they ended up with 3 toasters and 2 coffee makers and a whole bunch of other random stuff.
Is everybody gonna send me a gift?
I don't know. I honestly don't. Like I said, I haven't really been involved in many weddings, and this isn't exactly a wedding anyway. Um, whereas Bettina and Blitz's kind of was an official wedding. So maybe they got too many toasters. I don't know.
Very possible. See, when I got the toaster last night, and I was drinking, mind you, all my best ideas come when I'm drinking. When I was drinking last night and working with the toaster, I was trying to figure out how to make it as efficient as possible, and I can do that. I can make sure that it doesn't degrade over time. But then I was thinking, I was thinking if I couldn't grab onto one of these slumbering spirits and coax it into servicing that toaster. And I was trying to figure out what kind of chimage that toaster spirit would require. And then I looked at my pantry and my refrigerator. And then I was thinking, well, there's got to be spirits of abundance. Maybe. Then Jade walked into the room and asked me what I was thinking. I explained the situation, and she came up with this fantastic idea of trail mix. Abundance of trail mix. And I was thinking, well, there are certain spirits of abundance. Then I was thinking, no, beer, 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 beer. Spirit of grain, spirit of grain. It's like, that is a wonderful spirit. I have to get in contact with that one. I have to talk to that one and see if I can't turn on the tap.
Okay. So you were investigating the spirit of beer because you got a toaster?
Hey, I laid out my logic.
Yeah. Okay. So what happened when you tried to investigate the spirit of beer?
Have not contacted it yet, but I do plan to at some time today or maybe tomorrow. It really depends on my schedule.
Okay. I've never really spoken to the spirit of beer before, though seen quite a few awakened beverages. I just don't really have a great deal to do with them.
No, 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 no. It's not about awakening the beverage. It's not about awakening the alcohol. Why awaken the alcohol when you go right to the source? The cause of and solution to most problems happens to be beer, but there is a lovely, lovely spirit out there. Spirit of grain, spirit of plenty, spirit of abundance, and I plan to talk to her to make sure that I have enough beer to soak my head in when I get troubled.
Okay.
Well, what do you think about that?
Um, I think there are probably better things that you could try and ask a spirit for, but I guess it seems like an idea.
It's an idea, and it's a start.
I mean, if you want to look for abundant spirits, um, rice is quite good, and corn.
Mm-hmm. Corn's on my list.
Um, and spinach.
Spinach. I'll admit, steamed spinach is something that I have in my diet, but really, I guess it makes sense for there to be a spirit attached to it, but actually looks over to Alicia. Well, what's its temperament? What is it like? What is
I've
the
never met
spirit
it.
of spinach like?
I've never met it, but I mean, given the sheer amounts of nutrients that you find in spinach, it makes sense that he would be related with abundance, especially given how large an amount you can grow relatively easily.
Could definitely look at that.
I was just trying to think of something that wasn't grain based. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with grains, just there's probably other forms of abundance.
Mm,
I wonder if
yeah.
rabbits would count.
Rabbits?
Yeah. I mean,
Rabbit.
there's always lots of rabbits.
Rabbits, rabbits, rabbits. Let's see. What do I know about rabbit spirits? He sort of shakes his head and shakes the behind the ears of one of the mutt's head. The mutt goes ahead and turns its little doe-eyed face around, going, "Hey, hey, am I part of the conversation? Am I part of the conversation? No? Okay."
Well, quite a few of the dogs would have looked up at the word rabbit.
Are we a part of the conversation? Is this gonna be a fun time?
Is the food?
Rabbit spirits, rabbit spirits. Yeah, they're abundant. They're probably totems of fertility, but they're very, very hard to catch. Might do with a lot of running on that one.
Yeah, they are quite fast. Um, what are you looking for spirits of abundance for? I mean, other than making sure that your fridge has enough beer.
Mostly that is the only thing. I'm looking at practical applications to this knowledge I currently have. It's one thing to have the knowledge, it's another thing to actually use knowledge. If I can pretty much have a process and formula for making sure that my pantry is full, I could just simply extend that to pantries I find out there. Hell, what would you think about a grocery store that had more abundance in it? More fruits, more vegetables. Don't you think they'd be able to feed people a lot better? And I'm not talking about those grocers, those big grocers that you find in Wally World or down the street. I'm talking about more of those ethnic and minority neighborhoods. They have those corner stores and their small little groceries with those tiny stalks of apples, bananas, and oranges, and they gotta put the price tag on it. Wouldn't it be better if there was much more provided to those types of places? More provided there means more food, less cost.
That's true. That would be
Wally
good.
World.
But at the same time, um, if you do it too often, that's an awful lot of spirits that are tied into items and things. You need to make sure that they get something out of it too.
You don't tie it to items. You tie it to places. That way, anybody servicing those places can pay the chimage. It's like what we have right here. There's a greater spirit over here that protects this place, but it expects this place to also be protected and defended by its residents. What you gotta do is you gotta walk over to one of these store-like places, explain to the owners this neat little trick they got to pull, or introduce them to some sort of charity that they have to go ahead and donate to. Convince them utterly that their continued service and chimnage is what's causing this stock to be replenished every so often, even if it's just a superstition. That way, the spirit is there, providing service, and the spirit is properly respected.
That's true.
These are all just ideas that I currently have in my head about things that I could do.
Well, it is definitely good to have ideas, and I'm glad you're a lot more positive than you were last time we talked.
It's spring.
It is.
Jericho is going to go ahead and uncurl one of his feet, actually both his feet, and go ahead and start to nudge the toe of his boot into Alicia's sneakers. So, what have you been up to?
Um, well, I've been for some runs and I've done some gardening and I've caught up on the gardening that I needed to do at Gramercy Park and I had a talk with Travis.
Hmm?
And Andrew has been sending me things.
Quirks an eyebrow. What?
The mountain lion guy, um, he sent me roses, and then he sent me an invitation to a party and a costume. Um, I don't really know what to say to him. Because I mean, I keep telling him I'm with you, and yeah.
Oh, Alicia turns towards you. You're a lovely girl. You're a lovely girl, Alicia, and this doesn't surprise me. Of course, people are going to be attracted to you. Of course, people want to woo you, suit you. Of course, you're a lovely girl. Don't let anybody else ever tell you otherwise. How are you? What do you feel about this?
Um, I was a bit confused for a bit because, well, we've got a lot in common, and I think he's a great guy, um, but and then you were kind of avoiding me, and that hurt a bit, and I don't know.
Well,
I mean, it's nice, but it's not like it's not like we really know each other. So why? I don't know why he's so enthusiastic already.
that man, as far as I can tell, is a very enthusiastic sort. A very much a go-getter. A very much a devil may care, let's do something and damn the consequences afterwards. He's very charismatic. I can see the type of energy that he's trying to pour out into the world. You, you're a lovely, attractive young woman. He's gonna be naturally attracted to things that are beautiful, that are pretty, that are lovely. So what he does is he goes ahead and very enthusiastically chases after anything that sort of gives him the time of day. Doesn't surprise me.
So what do you think I should do?
What do I think you should do?
I mean,
Tell him to shove
it's
off.
not. Pardon?
Well, maybe not in those kinds of words. Just say no. He's a very enthusiastic sort. You're not gonna break anybody's heart. It all depends on what you want, Alicia. What do you want?
I'd just rather nobody had to get their feelings hurt.
It's like a man like that, I can guarantee you, has had the door slammed in his face many, many times. It comes with the territory. Hell, I remember being so young like that, being so energetic like that. He's like a puppy, and if you the dog sort of rousel up, no, not you. He's very energetic, very, very willing to grab after attention wherever he may find it. You really don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt.
I never want someone's feelings to be hurt.
Okay? If you had to hurt somebody's feelings, why would you do so?
To protect them.
Okay. You think this mountain lion friend, this Andrew fella, do you think his world is going to be devastated? Should you simply say, I'm not interested?
I hope not, but I really don't know. I mean, I'm not kind of used to this kind of happening.
All right. Let's say you say yes. Let's say you say yes. What do you expect to happen then?
Well, then I'd be hurting you.
Do you think the level of hurt towards me would be equal or more or less than the kind of hurt that you would levy against him?
Probably. It's hard to tell sometimes with you.
Quirks an eyebrow.
Well, I mean, like sometimes you do these big romantic things, and then other times you just kind of ignore me.
My time is not necessarily always my own. Do apologize for that. My time is not always my own, but if this is really a problem, if you think that I'm being distant, I can change my habits.
I I just mean that lately it's been a bit less clear.
Look, when you presented me that, when you went ahead and presented me the offer with the rowboats, I had to take a step back and actually talk to other people. I love
I
you,
know that.
Alicia, but I needed my own perspective on it.
I know. I know that kind of logically. I guess I've just been kind of struggling with the emotional side of that, if you get what I mean. I mean, I know why.
What did you What did you feel, or what did you feel when you did not hear from me in a while when I didn't talk to you?
Well, the not the not having heard from you in a bit. That's kind of that happens. We're both kind of unexpectedly busy, but when you were actually there, when when you were actually there and you purposely avoided talking to me, that was kind of a bit harder. I mean, I know that you wanted to talk to her without me, and I get that, but you could have just said that, or at least kind of said hi.
I'm sorry for that. It's just, Alicia, if I had stayed at that table and talked with that mother and their two children with you, I my vision would have been clouded. I would, for that moment, I had to cut myself off. I had to cut myself off and get the evidence and perspective that I needed, because I knew that as soon as you sat there with me, I would be completely and utterly lost. I would find myself in your aura again. That aura that gives, that aura that is charitable, that aura that makes me want to be a better man. I'd be clouded with that aura. And at that moment, at that time, during that week, I needed perspective. I needed to step back and think things logically. And I knew that if I talked to you, I would just melt. Melt into nothing but puppy love. Sorry. Again, there's more rebel rousing from the stray dogs.
Like I said, I know that kind of logically, but it's been hard. That's all.
Okay, I understand. I understand it's been hard. And I'm sorry that's been hard.
Then again, a lot of things that need to be done are hard.
And what are you feeling now?
Now I'm just kind of feeling really guilty.
Guilty about what?
About having all these doubts in the first place.
Doubts are natural. Doubts and regrets, they're kind of two sides of the same coin. Doubts are things we look into the future and are very much worried and anxious about. And regrets are things that have happened in the past that we can't change and are still anxious about the ramifications of. Everybody has them. Doubts, regrets, guilt. Don't worry. I understand guilt. You don't have to feel guilty.
And I also feel kind of really guilty about Andrew. I mean, it's not like I did anything, but he's really oddly easy to talk to, and I just found myself expressing my doubts, and I'm kind of worried it might have given him the wrong impression, and I know I have to kind of tell him, but I'm not really sure how. This isn't the kind of thing that I've had a lot of practice with.
Nobody ever has a lot of practice with a lot of things they have to do. Alicia, you have not done anything terrible. Is the world ending?
Only about as much as it usually seems to be.
Okay. Stupid question. Um, Do you think this Andrew character is going to end himself?
I don't think so.
Hmm. Do you think I'm going to end myself, or this thing that we have together is going to end itself anytime soon?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Bit
good.
more of a questioning on that one.
Nothing that has happened can't be fixed. I remember a few times actually, most recently, um, I did a stupid thing. Oh God, this was way, way, way back in university. I had a sweetheart and I had a job and I had documentation for a larger laboratory project to get done. Um, what eventually happened was one night, out of the blue, Wednesday, I think, I decided to shirk all of my responsibilities, turn off my phone, and walk with my mates into the pub. I must have spent 4 hours drinking, singing, and all throughout I got these messages from my little sweetheart, and all these little messages from my professors. And for those 4 hours, I did not give a single crap. And when I woke up from the hangover and I read the messages, I thought I was in utter shit. I thought my sweetheart would leave me. I thought I'd get kicked out of university, and I was just a complete and utter sopping mess. That's when one of my mates came up to me, told me that the world was not ending. He told me that my sweetheart wasn't breaking up with me. He told me the professor was not kicking me out. They just needed me to do things now. He's the one that actually got me out of bed that morning, kicked my ass with some caffeine pills, sat me down in front of my laptop, and yelled at me to complete the documentation. It was him that went ahead and, after the documentation done, caffeined me up again, kicked me out of the dorm with a few a few I'm sorry envelopes, walked over to my sweetheart, and we made up. Nothing that has happened cannot be fixed. As long as the world is not ending, things can be fixed. I miss that bastard. Really miss that fucking bastard. But Alicia, nothing that you've done you should feel guilty about. Things happen. Things fall out of place. People get the wrong signals all the time.
Um, you might need to be a little bit extra careful because I think Travis might have interpreted things a bit extremely as well.
What? His
Well,
eyes sort of flare from it. What?
well, he showed up and there was a package and he's like, oh, Jericho's being really romantic, and I said, I am not sure they're from Jericho, and then it became a whole conversation, and he's going to talk to Andrew. I don't know. He didn't look kind of.
Did he look
Yeah.
like he was in a talking mood, or did he look like he was in a I'm gonna fuck you up now, bro mood?
Oh, definitely more of a talking mood. Um, just like you remember how when he took you out and kind of said some things. more of the saying some things kind of thing.
Oh, with that guy, I think he'd be able to party long, long, long into the night and nearly on into the morning, continue on for a siesta in the afternoon. Only this particular siesta turns out he's jumping on the trampoline while eating a taco.
Yeah. Travis is a bit the same way, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's a worry. I just figured I would let you know about that, seeing as we're kind of talking about all the stuff right now.
hmm You know, apparently, I'm building a spaceship.
Okay. Um, I thought most of those got built in Florida.
Oh, they do, and some of the smaller, more modular components is actually shipped in from Houston, but uh, apparently one of my peers, one of those mad scientists, needs a large enough hangar to begin his particular project, and I sort of pointed him to the barn out back.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the barn is full of plants.
Yeah, I know. I pointed him towards Tom Dooley. I told him to talk to him first about that particular project. I said that it was here. I said there was a space available, a barn full of stuff that could be moved or transplanted or whatever. And I went ahead and told him to talk to Tom Dooley here to see if he'd be all right with it. Was just providing him with some information. The guy seems to be really, really out of his depth. He wants to build a spaceship, and hell, he's got a hope of reaching the stars.
Okay, but one of the good things about being out here is that things don't get seen very often. So, wouldn't it be easier and involve less damage to the plants if we just put up a giant gazebo?
Yeah, all things to talk about and converse with Dooley and the associate that he seems to be talking to. I'm making mention to you because I know that you also have a stake in this place.
Well, Tom told me that Alex gave it to me, so though he's in charge of the mage stuff, kind of think if he's going to go deforesting the barn, that would fall under everyone's kind of purview.
Then that seems to be a conversation that you will have with Tom Dooley and this other man that I've sent here. I'm not saying that things will not go your way. This is your property now. You have full rights and claims to it. Just hear the man out. And if he doesn't require the barn, he doesn't require the barn. If you give him a lot of land to begin his own construction work, so be it. That's fine with me. Just, I'm the messenger at the moment.
Yeah, I will definitely try and see if we can come up with something. I mean, part of the problem if he did try and build it in the barn is how would you get it out of the barn?
You'd open up the top of the barn.
Yeah, but the barn isn't designed to open.
You make the barn designed to open.
It seems like it would probably be easier just building a new barn.
If you feel like this is the most appropriate, then you
I mean,
do it.
there's a lot of plants. I mean, it might seem easier just using an existing building, but the roots there, they're all over each other.
Hey, it's whatever you three decide.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. But I mean, a spaceship sounds interesting, and
Sounds
and
awesome.
and yeah, it seems like the kind of project that will take a lot of space, but I'm not sure that space is right. What with the node being in there and everything.
Actually, such a project would require. Hmm, that'll all come out in that particular conversation.
Okay. Okay, we'll talk about that.
But
So,
how are you feeling now?
better mostly.
You didn't say that with a lot of confidence.
Well, I still kind of have to deal with talking to Travis again and trying to stop him from doing things, and then I have to talk to Andrew and try and sort that out. And and he seems like a nice guy, but I think we'd probably. I mean, I think we'd really get along, but I really get along with Travis. I kind of think that. I mean, I'd love if it went in that kind of a direction, I think. But then a lot of the time people don't take it very well if you don't return their interests.
Is that what you think? That interest should be reciprocated?
Well, you can't really control those things. I'm just saying that if you don't, people get their feelings hurt, and rather than being friends, sometimes they just kind of storm off.
Time heals all wounds.
Except old age.
This is true. Old age is a creeping sickness that eventually kills everybody.
Yeah, if something else doesn't kill you first.
So those are your concerns. You're concerned about you're concerned about Andrew's feelings getting hurt, him stomping off, and you losing a potential friend.
Yes, I'm concerned about Travis overreacting because Travis tends to overreact. And I still haven't met my grandparents, and you still haven't met my dad. And okay, there's lots of concerns, but the big ones. Okay, the big ones still haven't been dealt with, but the ones that we started the conversation about are settled. I mean, I still have to worry about what's going to happen at the next moot, and I still have to worry about this storm. I still have to worry about the evil mages, and I still have to organise a trip to New Orleans.
Blink, blink. Why New Orleans? Blink, blink.
Because that's where my grandparents live.
Oh, okay, sorry. Information I did not have.
And admittedly, there is a way I could use to get there fairly quickly, but
It's called a plane, yes.
no, I meant quicker than that.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
But you couldn't use that, and whilst we can go to a different place that is closer, R1 can't do the ritual that we need to do.
Well, if you're worried about distances, don't worry, I have an intern for that. Shit, no I don't. Fuck. He's always telling me about this fucking limitation he has, and I'm like, no, it'll be easy. I'm like, god damn it, it's true.
What?
The intern. He's got certain limitations to, his abilities, and I keep forgetting them. Damn it!
Okay. I don't know what the plan with him was to begin with, so, and I don't know what the limitations are, so can't really add to that comment.
But don't worry, sometimes I say things out into the ether that don't need to be commented. Although, if the intern was here, he followed up a few more of his comments. Damn it! I need to go talk to the intern.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm just going to sprout out more nonsense and more nonsense and more nonsense, and nobody will hear the recipient. It's like just like the fucking painting again.
Okay. So I'm just going to file that under mage stuff. But yeah, so I need to kind of work out at some point when we can go to New Orleans.
Let me ask you this. What kind of travel will you be taking then?
I need to work that bit out too.
Good luck.
Yeah, like I said, there's a way I could use to get there, but I couldn't take you that way. And whilst I can meet my grandparents and that kind of thing by myself, then we'd need to find a completely different place to take you to get the ritual done.
Plans within plans, concerns within concerns. You're starting to understand why I like this place, and I want to protect this place from all those concerns. Here is a garden, and I'm gonna grow.
That sounds like a good plan. And I bet with all those flowers, we could get some rather happy bees.
'Tis springtime. I don't know exactly how much cohesion that particular image will have. I'm guessing you have about an hour or so to actually appreciate it before things go a little bit tipsy. Magic like that doesn't tend to last long.
Well, as long as the flowers are healthy, that's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
The flowers aren't going to kind of disappear, are they? The wind will move them out of the right shape.
The wind will move it out of the right shape, and no. It should last. It should last. Look, he's pointing towards one of the dogs with a wreath of lilies, and simply saying, "Look, you told me that the field would stay. You didn't tell me how long the image would stay. There's like a very quizzical and very confused look coming from the animal. It's as if he's saying, "I have no idea what conversation you are referring to, sir."
Yeah, and also possibly what picture? Because they've been seeing it from ground level. There's no picture at that level.
The winds will move. Some of them will get stunted. Some of them will atrophy over. The magic will keep most of the field alive. It won't keep everything alive, but it'll keep most of the field alive.
So yeah, happy bees.
Happy bees. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Well, I need to decide quite what to put in a text message and what to do with a box. But other than that, and figuring out what to do with this lot, she looks at the dogs. I don't know. Oh, and figuring out what to do with that field.
The field will take care of itself. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
To do what I usually like to do, since I actually freaking don't have work today. What I try to do is I try to find one of these old movies. It's black and white, but it's full of all this fantastical nonsense that you would get from the mad scientists. I'm pretty sure the mad scientists take this as documentary evidence of the potential of the world. Hollywood. What is it called? Damn it. Amazonians attack Pluto. I think that's what the series is called. I found it on an old Wikipedia article, and it looks interesting enough.
Okay. Right. So, if once we've figured out what to do with this lot, we can watch some movies and make some popcorn.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Do could take some of these to an animal shelter if we wanted to. We could introduce some of these to the wolf pups. Is that one? I don't know.
There
also,
were two, and we've still kind of got the some of the food left for them, but I think Alex took them with him or something. I haven't seen them around the last week or so.
ah, well, you might not keep the entire pack, but you could keep two of these strays here and just continue feeding them using some old wolf rations. We could go ahead and try to gift them to other people, and the other strays will have to fend for themselves. That doesn't mean we're not gonna provide them at least for a few hours a place to stay. Isn't it rude? Isn't it? And again, the dog's just looking at him, going, "Well, we're doing this now. You're a human. You screamed at me just a few seconds ago about nonsense. But
Humans
why
are
are
weird.
you're so fucking weird right now."
Humans are weird, but they give good belly rubs.
Yep. We can
Well, I
let
mean,
the,
it's
we can
not
let the
like we're short on
strays.
space.
Mhm. Well, how about this? Let's let the strays sort of roam around the chantry for a little bit. Eventually, they'll get tired, or they'll move on, or the few that will stay will come in for the treats that you guys seem to have, or they will probably keep following me.
Yeah.
Although I think because the field has already presented itself, they'll stop doing that.
They might do. I am going to head back up to the attic. I think there was a box of old blankets up there somewhere.
Hmm?
And I should probably take the chair off the roof.
Yep.
Um, if you kind of if you run a water thing, she says with a bit of a glance towards the dogs.
A hose?
No. Begins with a B.
So it starts with an H, and I'll go get the kiddie pool. I'll go get the kiddie pool.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess you have some sort of soap, right? Because
Yeah.
this is gonna turn into a B. Okay, fair, fantastic. Jericho is gonna go ahead and sit up and take off his jacket Gonna go ahead and roll up his sleeves and his jean pants, going, "Yep, thought I was gonna do this today." He's gonna go ahead and walk off to the back where there's it's a deflated sort of kiddie pool. What he's gonna do is he's gonna set up this kiddie pool full of water, soaps, and suds, and the dogs are not gonna have any of it. They're gonna look at this madman.
Some dogs love it. The problem is, the dogs that love it will still end up splashing it all over you and shaking it everywhere. And the ones that don't like it will really try and run around and give you.
Well, Jericho, for his part, is only going to concentrate on those dogs that are willing to come towards him. He doesn't care if he gets wet or soapy or anything like that.
There will probably be at least one rather large dog that splashes in the pool and sends the water everywhere and almost knocks the pool over and shakes the water all over you.
Things I do to appease a spirit.
But Alicia will be there shortly enough to help round up the dogs and get even the most recalcitrant ones at least a little bit clean. And then get them all snuggled up on blankets.
There's a hairdryer that is blown over them. You're gonna get dry. You're gonna get dry.
Yeah, they're all going to end up snuggled up on blankets in the living room again, with large amounts of bowls of water and food dotted around the place. The lilies are gone though, but they smell better without them than they did with them, and being stray dogs. Because the lilies could only do so much. But then, once they're somewhat exhausted from dealing with the dogs and everything, they can settle down and watch a nice movie on the sofa with some popcorn. And only a moderate amount of begging for the popcorn.
At this point, Jericho's just thinking to himself, I need a beer.
Yep, there will probably be beer for Jericho and hot chocolate for Alicia and some ice cream and some popcorn. And the dogs are not allowed the popcorn or the ice cream, despite their puppy dog eyes.
Puppy dog eyes!
They get plenty of treats, but not the popcorn or the ice cream. Not good for them.
Nope.
And there, with everybody all kind of cuddled up warm, the scene will end.